What's up, guys? I'm just putting this in front of the video, and yes, I am filming this separately, because when I did the edit of the video, it dawned on me that this was episode 100. We have actually produced 100 episodes, full-length episodes, of your Eve Echoes community news. Obviously, I've done more than 100 videos. I've got tutorials, I got everything else, little blurbs here and there. But as far as full news episodes go, this is episode 100, and I couldn't have done this without you. I couldn't have done any of this without the community at large, as well as my own individual community, and the support that you guys have given me since day one. I remember just starting this out when the game opened up into launch. I was in beta, but I didn't do the CC thing until maybe like a few months in on the game, and I realized, hey, I wanted to start covering the news because no one really is covering what's going on in the community as well as the game itself. It was mostly all tutorials. And we have grown this channel in leaps and bounds since then. We have over 4,000 subscribers currently right now. And I've made it from a fledgling, first-time content creator ever doing content for any game to becoming an official content creator and to becoming a senior content creator on the official Discord. Now, again, I don't know where this game is going. I do love this game, and I will continue to cover this game until they close down the servers. I will bring you the news each week, hopefully each week, because you guys know my schedule is crazy. But I will continue to bring you the news as it happens. I will put out other videos as well, and again, I just wanted to thank you all for taking the time to watch the videos that I put out, and I truly enjoy keeping you guys informed on what's going on in the world of Eve Echoes, as well as what's going on outside of the game itself, behind those Discord closed doors. So, with that in mind, let's move forward to the actual news broadcast, which you will see, me in this episode, because I am doing other edits into this video because a few other things have happened since I did the recording and the editing. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and again, thank you so much for tuning in. What's up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, and this is your Eve Echoes community news, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week. But you know what I'm going to do first, like I always do, and that's if you can tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, then of course you'll stay up to date with everything I do here on the channel. Now, we did have a few things this week, and a few big things. Now, one thing that was announced last week, that was after the video I had already made, so we're going to get into that. But I am not expecting this to be a massively long video, but let's start off with the biggest story of the week. And first we're going to have to move me over to the corner here. We're going to drop this, and that is to say goodbye to Captain Benzie. That's right, he is hanging up his captain's hat and calling it quits on Eve Echoes. He said so in the latest video, Good Farewell to Eve Echoes, which I'm going to play a little bit of it, just a few minutes, so you can see basically where he was and where he has landed on his feelings on Eve Echoes. And yes, he has become a little bit bitter over the passing of time, and a lot of us content creators have, but some of us still enjoy the game, produce the game, and make content for the game. But let's hear what the captain had to say in his farewell, and here we go.
I actually quite like those things, and I also think that the way that Eve Echoes handled Omega is arguably better than how we have it in EVE Online, and I would love to see CCP add a cheaper version of Omega that doesn't increase your skill point trading, but just unlocks the ships. Things like that EVE Echoes did really, really well. Unfortunately, about a year and a half in, the addition of the first nano cores into Eve Echoes was the start of the decline. That was the moment when the developers broke the promise that they had made that nothing in the game, monetization-wise, would ever be tied to stats or ships.
Now, we all know that this is a mobile game, and we know that mobile games do have to charge money to... Sorry about that. Brief edit because I had to answer the phone there. But yeah, this is a mobile game, and we all know that mobile games tend to start monetizing their product to further advance the game, and then later on they do kind of get into a lazy mode where that, yes, it feels like it's just trying to mug you and take your money. More so over this last year than what he was saying. But yeah, I always expected NetEase to, add in monetization. I think we all did.
Recently, they've actually just started selling ships. They have literally destroyed the entire concept of EVE, the concept of a game where your decisions matter, where your actions have meaningful consequence. That's not the case in EVE Echoes anymore, and that leads me to sit in a position where I don't really want to cover this game anymore. Captain Benzie as a branding has always been about, I'm having fun, here's how you can too. And the truth is, in Echoes, I'm just not having fun. I've barely logged in, other than to collect daily rewards. I don't remember the last time I undocked, genuinely. I log in, I collect rewards, and I'm kind of done. That's it for me. And yeah, I've had some wonderful outreach. I've had people I was sent to Science see, hey, here's a 35 billion-esque ship, do a video showcasing how this works. If the devs want you to fly a capital, let me help you make that possible. So thank you.
Yes, but we all know, truthfully, that Benzie does not enjoy capitals. He does not like anything larger than, I would say, a battle cruiser. I would say he doesn't like anything larger than a cruiser itself. Yes, he did cover it for his videos and his content, but he was a huge proponent of small ship content.
Thank you for that. That was awesome, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I got a chameleon, and I love the ship, but there's no content for it. Even trying to fly through into Cobble Edge, it was just dull, and there was still no content there for my chameleon. I've spoken to numerous different people about running blink fleets, and nothing bothers. It doesn't actually hook me anymore, the game. There is so much negative energy for me in this game now that I don't want to be a part of it. And as for the developers, I remember when I first started making content for EVE Echoes, way back in Alpha Beta. I remember speaking to the developers back then, and them being all so positive and excited, and hey, this is what we're going to be doing. We're bringing EVE to mobile. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to add this. We're going to add that. It's going to be incredible. And now, what little communication you get with the devs is kind of like, do you have any feedback? Because we're kind of out of ideas. What's the good thing about wormholes to you?
Now, that alone itself is, I don't know how. It may be him, because I know the devs don't talk to me. I even ask questions to the community manager and get responses back. So maybe it's just me that the devs and everyone talks to, but maybe it's just Benzie that they would actually come to talk to. But I've talked to several other content creators who said they've had basically zero contact with other devs, especially when trying to find information or ask them questions or just give input.
And then ignored it. I've spent 3-4 years of my life trying to support this community, support the development of this game, and explain with full receipts why things should be the way they are. I've not just kind of gone in and gone, well, I think X, Y, Z. I've gone in and said, your design intent was X, you currently have Y, here's how you can achieve X, and here's all of the numbers that support that. Since the beginning, I was talking about how missile application didn't work properly, how frigates are massively underpowered and were nerfed into the ground, outside of, at that point, interceptors. Talked about how to fix exploration, talked about how to fix industry, and so many other things, with full maths backing it all up. Destroyers being the big one. The fact that the internal design documents from the developers listed what they wanted destroyers to do, and they just didn't do that. I turned around and gave them full-on, like, literally 5-6 page documents explaining, this is what you want to achieve. This is my proposal. This is how it achieves it. And this is how that benefits the game and the community as a whole. Largely ignored for 4 years, which is why, yeah, I had no faith in the CSM that was being set up by MJD and the crew. Mainly because it turned into a cock-waving contest in seconds, but NetEase asked me, Nina, the mod team, the other content creators.
No, not the other content creators. I don't remember having input at all. I remember them putting out a survey, which we, but I know I was never contacted individually, DM'd wise or anything like that. Say, hey, do you have some feedback? Do you have some ideas about this? What would you like to see? No.
They asked us to sign an NDA, give them feedback, and talk with them, to have that back and forth conversation. And over 3 years, they never listened to us. So why would they listen to a random group of players who just start making demands? They chose that they wanted us to listen to, and then didn't. And that's where Echoes is right now. It's at a place where monetization is absolutely king. Even Black Ops battleships. I'm so excited to be flying a Panther in EVE Online because I finally achieved that goal. In Echoes, I know that when those ships launch, I'm going to have to train it into a bunch of skills that are going to cost several $100 million each to get up and running, or buy Lazarus units and just shift stuff across. I'm going to have to do a big, expensive skill train that is entirely Tech 10 skills. There are going to be massive amounts of SP, massive amounts of ISK to purchase the skills. If you want to build one of the ships, it's probably going to be around about 20 billion worth of materials, so good luck grinding that out. Or, on day one, you can buy it out of a fucking lucky box.
I think that's where we'll end it right there with his pharaoh. Now, if you do want to see the rest of this video, I will put a link to it in the description below. But yeah, I that's enough for me. I'm not going to watch this anymore. But as far as the community goes, he was a big portion of EVE Echoes, and as a community personality, as a person I dealt with in the community, as well as a content creator channel, I do wish him luck in his future endeavors. Now, he will still be making videos on EVE Online, so if you are playing both EVE Online and EVE Echoes, and you do like his content, there will be content on EVE Online, all the events they do, everything they do in that game, and he'll be covering it. Now, he did talk and touch upon one of the other things which I want to talk about, which is coming to the game, and that's right, we actually now have Black Ops ships coming to the game. And now this was done, this was given, there's a little blurb that was given out when they talked about it at their fan fest last week, and this is what came out after I made that video initially, which obviously I wasn't able to cover until now. So go ahead and give a listen here, and it's just a little blurb. Now, no one was expecting anything to be said about EVE Echoes at this fan fest, because we are treated as the stepchild of EVE. But go ahead and let's give a listen.
Players have played EVE Echoes. EVE Echoes continues to bring the EVE experience to mobile, and later this year they're releasing new area of space with new enemies and new rewards. New ships will be introduced, including the advanced Black Ops battleship for even more sneaky pew-pew.
And that's basically it. That's basically what they said, and they go into more EVE Online stuff. But yeah, at the end of before the end of this year, we will be getting Black Ops battleship ships. Now, that also begs the question, will they have the jump drives? Will they be able to actually make jump bridges like they do in EVE Online, which allows you to teleport your entire fleet, even though you won't have a jump drive? This would be a massive thing, because in EVE Online, before EVE Echoes came around, you could take this whole Blink fleet, and it was something called Bomber's Bar in that game. And you would use these Black Ops battleships to basically make jump points throughout the universe, and then you would just do a bombing run on your massive targets, on these caps and these battleships. However, of course, we do not have bombs on our bombers still after 3 years. Maybe that will be changing, but they did talk about opening up new space. Now, it has been long discussed that the drone lands will be repurposed as Yeonjun territory, so we'll be able to farm up that faction. Only took them 3 years, but yes, that's what we're getting for the end of the year. New ships, new Black Ops battleships, as well as new space and new content. So get ready, get your skill points ready, get your wallet ready, and we'll see what's coming. Now, let's turn to the fighting recently that's been happening. Well, not recently, it's been going on for a very long time, but the fighting itself has been increased up in Wicked Creek. So if we turn to the map in Wicked Creek and the once held lands of OG. OG is a shell of its former self. It's just remnants right now. A lot of proponents moving over to Void. One of the big stories is Ascending Legends, who is been part of OG since a very, very long time. Actually transferred over into the Brethren Court, so their land is now held by Brethren Court. But as you can see, as we zoom in here into Wicked Creek, there's been a lot of fighting here, and as you can see, a lot of the area has been taken over by Void. It's still held by OG, but as you can see, these F-Tech QQ5N, or is that QQ5N is held by Brethren Court now, but MI still holds some remnants. But yeah, as you can see, OG is a shell of its former self, and there's been a lot of fighting in these areas. A lot of posses being killed, some citadels transferring back and forth, and there is a lot of video on this from content creator Jubilæus. As you can see here, there's a big fight in this system. This was a defense of a citadel, and this is Pact versus Silent Forces, and this was in Detroit. Again, there's fighting all over, and the fighting is now between the Federation and Pact. And if you don't know who Pact is basically the remnants of Triple H, but it was always mostly OG. It was Void, and those held forces, those allied forces together. There's a bunch of fighting here, and from what I was told, let me just pull up my notes here, which I have. 1 second, I'm so sorry. We're going to pause this so I can find my notes. Okay, I was told that on the 30th, there was fighting in OG and Void space. This is one of the videos from that day. Jubilæus basically told me that they, and he flies with Void in them, that they blew up a silent citadel, but the operation ended a few minutes before he made this video. He said during the fights there was a lot of desync. A lot of players say that they had. I'm translating because his English is not the best. We all love Jubilæus, though. He is a very good content creator, and as you can see, a lot of these PvP videos are fantastic. He said basically. It's basically how it's been in the last 3 years, right? Big fights, and as you can see right here, it's not really a massive fight. It's 94 versus 33. And there's 162 people in the system. It's not like it was, where we had 500, 600, 700 pilots in the system with desync. But basically, they're still getting desync, even with these low numbers, right as everyone touches down in the grid. But he goes on saying that Silent changed up their standard MO, and they actually hit different locations with multiple smaller strike fleets. So they used the Embelex to go where the Silent Forces were moving and engage them before they enter the system. So they were basically jumping around, cutting off the fleets before they were able to enter. As you can see there, he had a desync there. He says the opponent adapted to the new strategies, and there was a lot of great fighting. So basically, a lot of people had fun. And that's what the proponent of this game is, right? A lot is... I know that's why I played PvP, is to have a great time. Is to enjoy all the camaraderie of your fleet, the trash talking in the system, and just the strategy of hitting. I hated structure fights. To me... especially uncontested structure fights, boring. Give me those, okay, we're going to hit this target, but we have a fleet coming behind us, and there's a fleet in front of us. I love those scenarios. That's where you have the most fun. That's where you test the mettle of your pilots, you test the mettle of the FCs. But there is no end in sight to the fighting that's going on between all these forces, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more fighting until basically someone says uncle or signs a peace pact. But the war is just starting up now focusing in on... In our next story, believe it or not, there is actually a book you can now buy through Amazon about Eve Echoes. Now, it's by the author of krymsonkyng, and if you don't know who he is, he was a content creator that did a lot of just creative writing and such. He was also a co-host on the Echoes of New Eden podcast alongside Rambo and Taylor Rick. Now, he did make this book, and I know his exit from the game is controversial. We're not really going to bring that, but basically, he comes out with this book, and it's basically saying that it is... a way to spot a space Nazi. And the way he dictates this and says this, it says that there are nut jobs willing to kill people and ruin lives over a video game. They claim to be Christian while acting like devils. Like demons, they hide in the shadows of the internet. Here's a flash of light to glimpse their style of evil. Here's how you may spot a space Nazi. It's a $10 book, and I did not purchase this. I did speak to several that did buy this, where he does go into interesting stories, and there's a lot of Discord screenshots of conversations to the personalities of Sun Banana, Momosaurus Rex, Drone Corpse Aviator, and other players that basically left Eve Echoes at the height of their power and influence. And he basically said that in the end, he got very paranoid, thought that Taylor Rick was hacking his account. And he said that his accounts and his personal businesses and such got hacked, and it's all due to this game, which I don't foresee happening. But again, I didn't read the book, but from what I gather, the book is basically just Discord logs and chats that he's had with other content creators and other things. It may be a good read for you. I don't know. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. Again, it's only $10. So if you want to support him, you can go ahead and buy that book. But I just think it's kind of cool that we actually now have a book about Eve Echoes, even if it is just, disjointed stories and Discord logs. And in our next story, you all know we've covered him here on the channel before, Badran. Yes, he is the goose most known from Honk. He is currently flying with X Corporation right now, but he will forever be a Honk member. But today, he did lose a significant amount of ships. Now, it's not all of his ships. He has more. Trust me, he has more. But he did have a big loss in the form of his super carrier. Now, if you guys don't know, Badran does do gate camps in Cobalt's Edge and other NDSs, CNDSs, stuff like that. And you may have come across him, you may have gotten killed by him. But here he was ambushed by about 60 other players, and let's go ahead and just see the footage here, because it's not long, but as you can see right here, here is the opposing fleet who is joining in on this. I'm not sure if it's a CNDS or an NDS, but it's one of those little wormholes tucked in outside. Now, he is already getting hit on the other side of this gate. However, but this team is now flying through. Now, there was, from what I gather, about 60 overall ships, 40 of which were capitals that were able to take down his super. Not only his super, but his super, his carrier, as well as his fact. So his other alts were also killed in this one strike. And as we come across here, we shall see the demise of Badran. As soon as we jump through, there it is. There's the ship right there. It's all getting already attacked already by several caps and carriers that are on the field. And we got this crap popping up. Sorry about that. Here we go. And as you can see, he goes down, the carrier goes down, and he's got nothing but pods left. Let's just go right to the screenshots. We'll get rid of this. So his super carrier was worth 1.8 trillion in ISK. And like I said, it took 60 to pin him down. He had a warp strength against him of 51.0. Yeah. Like I said, there was a few supers on grid, a lot of capitals on grid, and all of which to take him out. Now, again, like I said, he did lose his 1.8 trillion super carrier. I believe this is the Hael. And he also lost his facts, worth 85.6 billion. And he also lost this one right here, his other Nidhogger, worth 50 billion. So, all in all, yes, a massive loss for Badran, but I know he will bounce back. He does have more in the hangar, and we give a salute to Badran and his death, because he has brought death to so many others. And yes, we will be covering this again in the Kills of the Week video. Now, I also want to do something that we haven't done here in the channel in some time, and that is a content creator spotlight. And I want to spotlight Hael's Casual Gaming channel. He is starting to, I would say, take the place, fill that void that Benzie has left. He's the new captain now. He has some great videos on his site. In fact, he actually broke the news about Benzie quitting about 5 days ago. And he's got informative tutorials on there. He's got weekly roundups. There is some great things. He's also been doing the dev Q&A. He is a very good up-and-coming content creator for this game, and we do need new blood injected into the game and the community at large. So if you can, go on over to Hael's channel, give him a subscribe, give him a like, share his content. Check it out. It's, like I said, you're not going to be disappointed with him. He is a great content creator and a welcome addition to the community. But that's what I got for you today. Obviously, if bigger stories break during the week, I will put out specific videos covering those stories. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue doing these weekly wrap-ups on what has basically transpired. But, yes, are there people leaving the game? Yes, there are people leaving the game. Content creators leaving the game. But there are still people coming into the game, still people playing the game, people still having fun in the game. I wish my schedule would allow me to join some of these fleets, but unfortunately a lot of these operations and a lot of these fleets are happening basically at the most inopportune times for me to take place in them. I really do wish I had the time to come in and play. I am going to be taking a week off of work soon this month, so hopefully I'll be able to get in a bunch of those fleets, and you know, you guys will actually see me on the grid, because yes, I do play the game. I do not just report on the game, I do play the game. But yeah, that's what we have right now. I hope you guys had a great time with this. I hope you enjoyed this. And that's going to do it for this episode. But if you need more news in your life, you know where I'm going to send you. You're going to go over to the Echoes of New Eden podcast with your host, Rambo and Tailrick. Sometimes me. You never know. And if you want to be part of their live studio audience, it's every Sunday night. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever that's going to relegate to your guys' time. And you want to get in early into that studio channel, because there's can only fit 25 people in there. If you do want to follow along and you can't get into that channel, there is an overflow chat, which is monitored on the YouTube live stream. And since we don't have an official API, always trust echoes.mobi for all your killboard needs. The website is great. The Discord bot will keep you up to date with everything that's going on. And yeah,